It's almost like being in some sort of crafty grad school in a way. I was trying to imagine other ways in which I could commit this amount of time to have the freedom to try things that aren't necessarily profitable economically, that just need to incubate and need to be part of like getting to the next step. To me, that was my motivation for committing for 2 years. Yeah, my name is Mike Loeffler. I am a woodworker. I do chair making, I do bowl carving, I do some timber framing. I got interested in woodworking pretty much because I enjoy trees and I like being in the woods, and so that was the inspiration. It's a good sound, isn't it? I think one of the nice parts is your full body is kind of connected to this process, which is a different kind of experience than running it through a bandsaw or something else like that.
Mike has an interesting array of crafts that he's interested in, both carving small objects and working on big shelters and buildings, timber framing. And I think he posed an interesting question to us in applying to the program too, of what are the different sort of legs of a life that make it possible to live your life as a craftsperson and explore what it might mean to have sort of a seasonal lifestyle of building buildings in the warmer months and doing smaller carvings in the colder months. And what do I want to take from bits and pieces of the people that I'm mentored by and create my own path forward?
I actually was an intern at North House in 2011 and sort of got addicted to all this stuff. I started carving, so my last name is Loeffler and it means spoon maker in German. And when I found that out, I thought I should figure out how to carve spoons. It's one project kind of leads to the next, to the next, to the next. And that kind of happened with me. It started with something small and repeatable like a spoon. And then really these bird bowls are just big spoons with a little more detail on them.
Just taking it in fun and new, unique directions, like making a flamingo bowl. You know, who would have thunk?
You start introducing new tools to your kit, and then all of a sudden you're like, I could also try this project. And so they just kind of grew in scale, and I love that about it. Yeah, and with most of these, I don't bother to make them perfect because I don't want them to be perfect.
Mike provides a great example of somebody who's making things that are really looking back and looking forward, looking to the past for inspiration and standing on hundreds of years of people exploring form and function and how a chair or a bowl works in your hands and in your house, but also looking forward and seeing what do people today want to use in their daily lives.
What's really nice about doing this too, having a base layer that's another color and a sort of a contrasting color to the top coat, is that when you buff it out, this was only made with hand tools, so you can see all the facets. It's really a very, very textured surface. It's a really neat effect.
Mike's been super inspirational. He has so many cool ideas when it comes to use of color and using like patterns and motifs and ideas that I would never think of using.
You know, there are some things that are super ornate that are interesting because of how busy they are, but some things it's just, there's a sweet spot where they can definitely go overboard, and sometimes just a little touch is really all it needs. I don't know if I have a style yet. I'm borrowing a lot from other people and kind of figuring out how the mechanics, sort of the chair architecture works, and then what a good seat feels like, and so I'm new to it. I think it'll develop, it'll show up. My specialty will show up in the future, yeah.